Well, my talk today is entitled Gratitude. A big jazzy title, right? But appropriate. You know, we are approaching the end of the year, and the next few days we're going to celebrate one of the most beautiful and spiritually meaningful and actually, thankfully, relatively uncommercialized, except for the food ads. And that is, of course, Thanksgiving, this coming week. When we hear news, and we hear it all the time, about deprivation and upheaval, violence, homelessness, starvation, war, refugees, corrupt totalitarian regimes around the world, our USA, our United States of America, is, with all its shortcomings, so infinitely better that we find ourselves feeling a wash of gratitude that the United States is our home. It's provided us freedom and opportunity with an experience of life that simply couldn't be duplicated. And as a matter of fact, it couldn't be even approached in many places around the world. When we just give a little bit of thought, this so-called accident of birth, our birth in this country, is something to be so deeply grateful for, especially for women. It's easily one of the most important things we want to remember as we celebrate our Thanksgiving Day, and be thankful for this country and our home here. Did you ever realize that we all should be very grateful for something that we received probably in the long ago past, and that is the gift of religious belief? Yeah, not everyone is blessed with this gift. Many times we look back and our parents or other members of our family, perhaps a role model, someone we trusted and admired, perhaps a friend or an organization that revealed within us a resonating sense that something exists that is larger than I am. And that connection began to take place. You know, there have been any number of scientific studies that prove that religious belief is neuroprotective. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that a robust belief in God protects you against depression and anxiety. Truly. When we are faced with life's darker moments, there's always this omnipresent, omnipotent power that we can turn to for strength and comfort and courage, for direction in our lives. Leaning on this unseen power is a resource that is as old as humankind. 3,000 years ago, the psalmist sang, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me." Spiritual belief has consistently closed the door against fear and opened the door for peace. These days, when people depend so much on science, there's a satisfying and ever-growing scientific consensus that religion plays an important part in the role of immunity. Immunity against diseases, and actually helps people fight back from cancer or HIV. Let's be grateful this morning for our belief in an omnipresent God of life who created human beings where health is the natural state of affairs, where our physical systems within us, that they are there to consistently bring balance. They are active to bring healing to the whole body, and this goes on constantly, 24/7. God has created us in the most marvelous way. You know, we marvel at the vastness of the universe. We are astonished at how interesting and how intricate and balanced the natural world is. Sea and land and sky, and aquatic and animal and insect and bird life, so beautifully integrated. But the human body and brain is the most complex, the most extraordinary creation of all. Few of us give thanks for our skin. We just take it for granted, don't we? And think of it just as it's a relatively minor, simple part of our bodies. But do you know that every few weeks, every human being produces 20 square feet of new, perfectly fitting skin that completely replaces the old one? Every few weeks. The old one is constantly wearing out, and it's constantly being replaced. Skin keeps moisture out and at the same time prevents the body, which is 60% water, from drying out. It's that perfect elastic wrapper for our bodies. There are millions of nerve endings below the surface of our skin, and these nerve endings detect pain, heat and cold, pressure, touch. In sensitive areas, like our fingertips or our lips, there are as many as 1,300 touch receptors in every square inch of surface. That's amazing. The sebaceous glands, the oil glands, lubricate our skin and our hair, and they make us waterproof. This amazing suit that we wear copes with unending assaults. We scratch it, burn it, we bruise it, we cut it, we scar it. We get out in the sun too much and get sunburned. We're subjecting it to cold and heat, and yet it continues to take care of us, protect us, without seldom a thought from us. Do you think there's any question that maybe we should give thanks for this skin that we live in and everything that's contained inside it? Gratitude. It's only second to love in its importance to us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Gratitude affects our relationships. It affects our abundance, our health, opportunities. And the peace and harmony of our lives are all affected by gratitude. Why? How? Well, when we follow the example of Jesus, who gave thanks often and routinely, we're following the footsteps of one who knew spiritual law. Jesus gave thanks before he fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 3 fishes. He blessed and gave thanks to the bread and the wine at the Last Supper. He healed the sick and he raised the dead through a combination of perfect trust, gratitude, and love. Jesus knew, probably better than anyone, that what we sow with gratitude, we reap with bounty. As we trust and as we give thanks for that invincible divine action that's taking place all the time and everywhere, we enhance its activity in us. We enhance it. Gratitude is a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling, and when we marry that feeling, that uplifted feeling of gratitude, with any positive thought, we bring forth a golden child, the golden child of unlimited blessings to us. Now, this is not an idle promise. It will bear abounding good if you keep it in mind and use it. Paul said, giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, in the New Testament, name, of course, meant nature. So this passage is saying that as we give thanks to God always for everything, as we do it in the nature, that is the way, the method that Jesus used, blessings come forth. Jesus' method was to give thanks first with total love and trust, knowing that God's power would bring forth a perfect solution. It would bring forth the miracle that was required at that time. And that is what we are to do. When the occasion arrives, and they seem to come all too often, where there is absolutely nothing you can do humanly about a situation, try releasing any sense of responsibility for that person or that situation and give it to God. Give it to God and give thanks for the divinely right solution. Stop worrying. Turn off the worry and finally release the whole thing. You've put it in God's hands. And however it unfolds, you know that there will be a rightness, there will be an appropriate solution that will bless everyone, even if it takes some time. It will be the right thing. Thanksgiving is such a warm, uplifting, beautiful feeling. It truly is. We need to practice it so much more often than we usually do. The problem is that our attention is so often focused on our troubles rather than our blessings, which are, well, omnipresent. God is omnipresent, and so is His good. So are His blessings omnipresent. Now, Sylvia Clarkson, who's here today, a while back sent me a lovely story, and I wanted to share it with you this morning. One day, a professor walked into his classroom, and he told the students to prepare for a surprise test. Of course, they got anxious right away, as students are apt to do. And he placed an exam on each desk facing down, and then when they were all distributed, he asked them to turn them over. And to everyone's surprise, there weren't any questions on the exam, just a black dot in the center of this piece of paper. He told them that he wanted them to write about what they saw there, and so it was kind of confusing, but the students started in, and at the end of the allotted time, the professor collected the tests and started reading every one of them aloud to everyone else. Every student had tried to explain why the black dot was in the middle of the page. And after all the papers had been read, the professor began explaining, "You know, I'm not going to grade you on this test. I just wanted to give you something to think about. No one wrote about all that white paper around the black dot. Everybody focused on the black dot. And exactly the same thing happens in our lives. We have this white piece of paper to observe and enjoy our lives. But we always focus on the dark spots. All life, he said, was a gift given to us by God with love and care, but we focus on the dark spot. This gift given to us by God always gives us reasons to celebrate. Nature renewing itself every day, our friends and family around us, the job that provides our livelihood, the miracles that we see every day. However, what do? We insist on focusing on that black spot. Maybe it's a health issue that bothers us. Maybe it's money problems. It's a complicated relationship with some family member. It's disappointment over a friend. The dark spots are very small compared to everything else we have in our lives, but they're the ones that pollute our mind. Take your mind away from the dark spots in life. Enjoy every one of your blessings, every moment that God gives you. Be happy and live a life filled with love. And we could add, a life filled with gratitude. So, to sum up, follow the Master's example. Give trusting thanks for all things. Among them, the blessings of living here in this United States. Give thanks for your religious faith, because it brings other gifts untold. Give thanks for your amazing body, for the promise that gratitude will multiply the blessings in your life, for the powerful instruction in this story to stop focusing on that black spot, but give fuller attention to the abundance, the blessings, the good, the love, the opportunity that God has given you, continues to give you, will always give you, here and now. Let's go within. We celebrate this wonderful feeling of gratitude. And we revel in it often, for it is life-giving. It heals and helps. It spreads. It blesses. Not just us, but everyone around us, every life that we touch. For Thanksgiving Day, for the celebration that will take place this Thursday, for the celebration within ourselves of God omnipresent, of love, love for friends and family, for all the good that is ours now and will be in all our tomorrows. We turn to the one, the originator, the creator, the universal love force, God.